Well, well, well. Lewis Hamilton has officially broken the internet. If you have been on Twitter this morning, you have seen that Lewis Hamilton is moving to Ferrari in 2025. Even the dog is crying about it. The shock is, it's, I mean, are we shocked? Are we? It's no great secret in Formula One that the Ferrari seat is a coveted thing, whether drivers are willing to admit it or not. And Lewis has admitted it in the past, as recently as last summer. He admitted that he would be lying if he said that he hadn't thought about ending his career outside of Mercedes. We saw all of those photos of him, meeting with Fred Vasseur across pretty much the summer and towards the end of last season. They played it off. They were like, we're just old friends. Don't worry about it. And now it's like the Formula One version of that meme where the guy is looking back at his girlfriend looking at the other guy that's just walked past. Like, it's. I understand it on some levels from, as I said, that dream seat perspective. And obviously, Lewis does have some sort of long-term relationship with Fred Vasseur in particular, if not with Ferrari at large. But on other levels, I'm kind of like, is this wise? We know, for example, that Ferrari do not have their stuff together as far as pulling out consistent high performances. They will put like 75 to 80% of the pieces together and then something will happen, whether it's a bad strategy call, whether it's a slow pit stop, whether it's team politics. We've seen this over the last couple of years, and I keep thinking about Sebastian Vettel because he was obviously coming towards, I guess it was the step before the final step, obviously, because he ended his career at Aston Martin. However, he was coming towards the end of his Formula One career when he joined Ferrari, and it didn't, it started off all rainbows and lollipops and everything was perfect, and it didn't come together for him, and it was hugely frustrating, and in the end it was quite a negative experience for him. And I really would just hate for that to happen to Lewis as well. Charles Leclerc has just in the last number of days signed his contract, kind of extended his time with Ferrari. He's planning to be there for a while. I can't say that I'm super surprised that they would have chosen Hamilton over Sainz. I think that on paper, the Leclerc Sainz duo looked perfect. It looked like it had almost all of the ingredients to produce something spectacular. Unfortunately, it hasn't, not completely through the driver's own faults, but obviously they have a part to play in it. And Sainz, unfortunately, if you had to rank them, he was looking like the number two driver in that team. What happens now to that dynamic? It's not the same. People are comparing it to when Vettel joined Ferrari with Leclerc. It's not the same. Charles Leclerc was very, very early in his Formula One career. At that time, he didn't have the standing in the team that he has now. He's not going to be thrilled if Lewis comes in and is just like, the goal here is to win me my 8th title and you can play support or not. Talking of team dynamics, what on earth is going to happen this season with George Russell? Because in his head, obviously, he's going to be hoping, okay, Lewis, you're heading out the door. I'm going to be the future of this team. It's possible that they would get a younger driver to replace Lewis, although I think personally my choice would be Alex Albon. If that doesn't happen, fireworks are going to go off because George Russell, he doesn't like to be chosen second. He doesn't like it. No Formula One driver does, but it could still happen. It could still happen because Toto Wolff has been very vocal about his desire to get Lewis that eighth world title. Mercedes don't, obviously we haven't had preseason testing, but based on the last couple of years alone and the dominance of Red Bull, Mercedes don't have the package right now to do that for Lewis. But as I say, we haven't seen preseason testing, so what if Mercedes come out with a super competitive car and the goal is Lewis is heading out the door and we're going to try and win him this eighth title? George, I'm afraid you're going to have to play Best Supporting Actor. Like, it's possible here, and he is not going to be happy about that, no matter what they promise him in the long term. Those are my initial thoughts on this situation. This was very much not on my bingo card. I think it wasn't really on anyone's. The signs now looking back were there, yes, but none of us actually expected it to happen. So drop a comment down below. Tell me what you think. Are you shocked by this? Do you think it's a bad decision for Lewis? Do you think it's maybe an inspired decision that's going to turn out really well for him? What do you think he's seeing, or what do you think he might have been shown behind the scenes in terms of promise from Ferrari that he is willing to make this jump? Or, as I said at the beginning, is it just a case of he wants to have been a Ferrari driver in his career? Obviously, Ayrton Senna, one of his huge, huge idols, arguably his biggest idol in the sport. Is that what it is? Is it a dream at the end of the day? I'm very curious to know your thoughts. I will be hanging out with you all in the comments once this video goes live. But until then, let's all just try and calm down, shall we?